Hi, this is Mark Verkler, and in our podcast today, I'm going to share a story about suicide being averted through a mom who prayed, she saw a vision, felt compassion for her daughter, interceded in prayer from the vision for the entire day, and it averted a death by suicide. So here's the email that she sent to me. She writes, "In the book Unleashing Healing Power Through Spirit-Born Emotions, you write that observation causes transformation." That was my daughter Charity writing that in that portion of the book. And this is so fascinating to me. It explains a deep mystery that I had experienced. I was in prayer with the Lord, and I started to pray for my daughter who has struggles with mental illness, including depression. And this particular day, I saw her in my prayer in her room, but there was this thick white webbing stuff that almost went to the ceiling. And I asked the Lord what this was. And as I got closer, I could see my daughter inside of it. And this alarmed me. And again, I said, "Lord, what is this?" And he let me see her close up, and she was just lying there. It seemed like she was lifeless. And so again, I asked him, "What's wrong?" He picked up her arm, and it was limp. And I knew this was very wrong, and I was afraid. I asked Jesus, "What do we do?" And he led me to roar at the white stuff. I roared, which is something taught in chapter 4 of that book. And I clawed and I tore it away from her. And then Jesus quickly came, picked her up, and did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on her. The whole vision lasted about a day. Every time I would go back to it, because I was at work, I would see that it was continuing. By the way, I did text my daughter, and I didn't get an answer. This was the normal time for her to be in her classes, so I didn't really know what to do. I thought about calling the college to see if she was okay, and I was going to after her last class. Throughout the day, I saw this vision progress. Color started to come back into my daughter as Jesus continued to do mouth to mouth. The color went all the way down to her feet, and there were little rainbows all over her. Jesus sat her up, and she could sit up on her own, so I knew that she was okay, but her eyes still had white stuff in them. And I asked Jesus if he could heal her eyes, and he touched them with his thumbs and held them there until the white stuff came off. Now she was sitting up, and he was holding her and talking with her, and I felt a lot better. Finally, my daughter texted me back and said that she's fine, nothing's going on, she's okay. I called her that evening, and she sounded fine but busy, and I was very puzzled about why I had the vision and the experience. And it wasn't until a couple of months later that my daughter told me that she tried to kill herself that day. She said she took a lot of pills, but somehow she woke up. This is what happened that day, causing those waves to collapse and bring a miracle from the spiritual world with Jesus to my daughter. And I am so thankful for this small section in that book. This explains it, and it certainly changes my prayers now. I always want to see Jesus in my prayers. What a powerful testimony of receiving a vision, praying into the vision, and seeing the transformation take place. So my comments on this whole story, the vision was a day-long vision. So as you go back to visions, you may find, hey, it's still continuing. And if so, God is still working, and you just continue praying. She was moved by compassion. Jesus moved by compassion, healed. So anyone we're going to pray for healing for, we want to love them very, very deeply. And she prayed into the vision. As long as it was flowing, she continued praying, and she continued working with what she was seeing. So I want to encourage you all to pray this way. Encourage myself to pray this way. I'm currently doing that right now with a vision that's been unfolding for several days, and just seeing the peace of God moving in that situation and bringing peace out of it. So this is a testimony that came from the book, Unleashing Healing Power Through Spirit-Born Emotions. That book is available on our website, cwgministries.org. All right, this is Mark Virkler signing off.